Yeah, so, still not actually safe for people to be going into movie theaters, and the only things playing can apparently be recreated by walking backwards through a Brooks Brothers or holding your breath till you pass out in Spencer's Gifts. So here's a review of a direct-to-video Megan Fox movie. Right up front, pretty much every man working in entertainment writing and film criticism in the early aughts, myself very much included, owes Megan Fox an eternal apology for buying into the Hollywood hype machine, packaging and limiting her arrival on the scene as little more than the walking embodiment of the kind of shadow adolescent movies they pigeonholed her into, and then basically making that her fault because our shitty misogynist pop culture rewards cheap jokes about women more than the deconstruction of actual filmmaking. So yeah, that sucked. The Transformers movies were in no way her fault. She is, in fact, probably one of the better things in them. I was one of many people who got Jennifer's body wrong the first time around, and I'm sorry. In any case, having gradually re-emerged onto the public scene over the last couple of years, Rogue represents Fox's first major role in a Western-produced action film since the Ninja Turtles reboots called it quits after number 2. She also co-starred last year in the big-budget South Korean war film The Battle of Jangsari, and her first time as the main character in such a film, a badass ex-military soldier of fortune leading a mercenary team in the rescue of a politician's daughter held hostage by guerrilla terrorists in North Africa. When the mission is complicated by the presence of more hostages than the team had planned on rescuing, Fox's team ends up taking shelter in an isolated wilderness compound, which, thanks to a pre-credit scene, the audience already knows is a hastily abandoned lion farm where poachers have been raising animals illegally to be killed in staged big game hunts, because those are one of our 21st century universal villain signifiers, because of reasons, until a wounded but not dead and really pissed off extra big, extra mean lioness broke out and killed them all, and also she's still hanging around the place for some reason. Meaning that as the good guys hunker down for the night and try to get in touch with their bosses for an extraction, and the bad guys close in and try to get their prize back, there's also a killer lion stalking around and picking both sides off one at a time, all Jason Voorhees. And in case you had questions about whether or not a direct-to-video killer lion plus lots of guns and explosion movie was planning to be subtle about it, yes, they do in fact make reference to the fact that female lions are actually more dangerous than the males, and that this would make the Rogue and Megan Fox's character as the female leader of a mostly male fighting force sort of like spiritually aligned beings from a certain perspective. So there's a lot going on here, which is to be expected of B-movies of both the action, monster, and hybrid types that this occupies, because lots of plotting helps thicken the stew when you can only afford so much actual gunplay, pyrotechnics, and sparsely used, not wonderful CGI for your lion. But, and this is not, I don't think, lowered expectations talking for the most part, most of the a lot actually works, and it kinda rules. Like, I didn't know that I needed Tears of the Sun and Anaconda squished together into one movie, but turns out I did, because I end up watching a lot of B-tier action movies, and this is one of the honest-to-God better examples I've seen in a while, folks. The action works, it's very well directed by M.J. Bassett, a British genre filmmaker who's been at it for a long time, did the Solomon Kane movie a while back, also Death Watch, a bunch of really solid TV work over the last decade, just squeezing every damn drop out of what she's given to work with, also had a hand in the screenplay with her daughter Isabel. The cast is very solid, lots of good character performers doing the hard work, and Fox proves more than adept as a straightforward action heroine. She sells the no-nonsense tough guy dialogue, looks well-trained and natural with her rifle and knife work, handles the fights great. If this was a debut, you'd call it a star-making turn for a new action heroine. Peter Winchester has a fun turn as the obligatory wise-ass commando who takes a bizarre but inspired turn in the third act that seriously elevates the rest of the movie. And South African actor, director, producer Sisanda Henda has a pivotal supporting role where he gets to do several big dialogue scenes that have no business being as good as they are or as strong as they are in this kind of movie. I mean, you know why they're here, because talk is cheap, action costs money, so ideally you pad things out to acceptable runtime with dialogue and then shoot and stage it as interestingly as possible to keep people's attention, and that's why low-budget B-movies like this are supposed to be the get-good training ground where filmmakers get their shit together for the big leagues. But this one really does go above and beyond about it. I kept finding myself going, wait, that was unexpected, and that was smart writing. And so was that, and that was a really clever solution to why they can't just do that thing. And that's a good character beat. Wait, are all the two character dialogue exchanges in the first act actually gonna pay off in the third meaningfully? they're getting an arc, that guy's getting an arc, even those guys? Wait, even that's gonna make sense? I mean, I shouldn't be impressed by just the basic mechanics of good visual and narrative storytelling being executed, but most years I watch like 10 or 12 movies that cost probably 50 times as much as this did fail at this. I mean, hell, at one point I was invested enough in the action, soldier, gunplay stuff, I actually forgot the movie was about a lion for a while, and was therefore surprised when the lion jumped out, like you're supposed to be in a lion movie. And I mean, yeah, it's still a cheesy premise overall, mercs versus terrorists and machine gun fights and big orange fireball explosions and tough guy one-liners, and also there's a lion and heavy-handed ruminations about animal abuse, and Megan Fox is the leader and a woman, so the presence of the lioness is also in a sense a stalking, literalized warrior feminist metaphor, and you're gonna figure out the reason why the lion is hanging around right the hell away. So I can't like justify above a 6 out of 10 realistically here, especially since they do eventually just kind of say, screw it, just show the lion, even though our CGI is in no way cutting it, but it earns all 6 of those points, and I respect the hell out of it, so recommended. Yeah.